Hi, it's Elise here at Bowman Library with a whole new middle grade book spotlight. So our theme for this week, we are taking inspiration from the season we're in, the cold weather, because it got really wicked cold all of a sudden, and there's snow on the ground. And when I think of that, I think of winter, I think of cold, I think of the color blue. So we're using that for our inspiration this week because our theme is books that have blue covers, which means we have random books that all have blue covers. There's no rhyme or reason, just that they share the same color scheme. And I love doing themes like this because it means we don't know what we're gonna get. So we have 6 books that we're gonna share with you today that have blue covers. So let's get started. Our first one is Wish Tree. So in this unique fantasy, our main character is actually an oak tree that goes by the name as Red. Now, once a year, Red plays this role in the town known as a wish tree. Once a year, the town comes and they write down their wishes either on paper, on fabric, and they put it on Red. They tie to branches, they put it in like the trunk. And this is an event known as May Day. So Red gets to know the members that live in her community and she starts to kind of care about them. Now, even though Red has these connections, she makes a stronger connection with this girl named Samara. And Samara is this Muslim girl. Her family just moved to the town. They're a family of refugees. And she doesn't fit in. She's new, she's different from everyone else. And she soon finds comfort sitting under Red's branches. And when hateful messages, though, start to be carved in Red's trunk telling this family to move away, to leave, Red doesn't know what to make of it. And then to make matters even more complicated, Red's owner starts having these thoughts, conversations, discussions about cutting Red down. And when this gets out between, the carvings and being cut down, the community, not just humans, but the animal community as well, they decide they need to do something about it in order to make sure that everyone is welcomed and that Red gets to stay. This fantasy is filled with animals, friendships, and a look at how differences everyone can make, both positive and negative. If you love a good story from beginning to end, you will enjoy this one for sure. This is Wish Tree. Okay. Lincoln's Grave Robbers, one of my favorite middle grade nonfiction books, probably of all time. This is by Steve Sheinkin, who is also amazing, one of my favorite authors. And what I love about this, like a lot of nonfiction, I love that's history nonfiction, is this is about an event in history that I promise you as I tell you this, it is real. I'm not making this up. Steve Sheinkin didn't make this up. This is a real thing that happened. So let's go back to 1876. It's 11 years after Abraham Lincoln was assassinated, and a group of robbers and counterfeiters decide they want to go and they want to rob his grave. They want to steal his body, and then they want to hold his body hostage, and they want to use it as part of a deal to help one of their friends who's currently in jail. So they want to be like, hey, will you let this guy go? We'll give you Abraham Lincoln's body back. Yeah. So this is told in different parts between the gang of thieves, the Secret Service agents trying to catch this gang, and there's this undercover agent who is moving between all of the players involved. And this true crime story out of history is too crazy for you to believe. But again, everything in here is true, and it happened. And everyone comes together on the night of November 7th, 1876. And you will not want to put this one down because this has never probably been taught in your history class. It's crazy. You need to read this one. This is Lincoln's Grave Robbers. One of the best nonfiction books I can recommend. You need to check it out. Lincoln's Grave Robbers. We Dream of Space. So it's winter 1986, and siblings Cash, Fitch, and Bird are all anticipating the launch of the space shuttle named Challenger. Now, they are all in the same 7th grade class, though, especially in science, and they are each dealing with their own problems and struggles, especially Bird, Fitch's twin sister, as she's trying to hold their family together. They're going through some issues. Bird thinks it's up to her to make sure everyone stays together. Now, their science teacher, Miss Salonga, gives the class a project. She breaks them into these spacecraft crews, and then they must create and complete a mission. When the fateful day arrives in February for the launch, the events of that day completely change everyone's lives, and the siblings must come together to support one another. An amazing historical fiction book that not only will bring you back to that day in 1986, if you're not aware what happens, it's pretty devastating actually what happens, but it's something that's a piece of American history that you need to know. But this also highlights the importance of family and friendship within your family. I loved this story. Couldn't put it down. This is We Dream of Space. Roll with it. Okay, so 12-year-old Ellie loves to bake, and she dreams of being this world-famous baker. And she doesn't want to be known as the girl in the wheelchair with cerebral palsy. Now, when she and her mother have to move to Oklahoma to help her grandparents, Ellie's world is turned upside down. Not only is she the new kid in the wheelchair, but her grandfather's also suffering from Alzheimer's, and it's starting to get worse, and he soon starts to forget things, even including Ellie, which is also really tough. Now, as she moves to this new place, she gets to start this new school. It's not wheelchair friendly at all, so she's trying to navigate that. Ellie soon makes friends, though, with Coralie and Bert, these two students, and soon their acceptance of her changes everything in what she thinks of this new place. Now, as Ellie decides she wants to try to get more ingrained in town, she decides that she's going to enter the annual pie contest at the church picnic, and her new friends, when they find out that Ellie might be moving, they decide they are going to make it so that she can stay, and they're going to use this pie contest to help her out. This realistic look at family, friendship, and that it's okay to be different and to accept everyone for who they are is one that is totally relatable. It's a great story. This is Roll With It. Look Both Ways by Jason Reynolds, one of my favorite authors of all time. So, Jason Reynolds tells amazing stories. This one is no different, and this one is really unique in that there are 10 short stories that make up this story, but each story is intertwined with all the other stories. And each one of these stories features a student or a group of students that are walking home from the same middle school. But all of their stories end up intersecting one way or another, and it's up to you to figure out what exactly is going on and the role and impact they play in each other's lives. Now, each main character has their own backstory, their own conflicts, their own struggles, and you will find yourself relating to many of them in one way or another. And as soon as one story ends, the next one picks up right where that one leaves off, and it's all about how you can help the world and make a difference in one another's lives, maybe not even realizing that you are making a difference. This is filled with humor, drama, mystery, and learning to live life. This unique story is one that you will not want to put down, because as soon as you start one story and you finish it and you're going to go right into the next one, you are going to want to know how everything fits and pieces together. This is Look Both Ways. And our last one for this week is the benefits of being an octopus. Now, Zoe's in 7th grade living in rural Vermont, and she feels that she's being stretched way too thin. Not only is she a student and everything that comes with that, from homework to tests to, just trying to survive middle school, but then she has to take care of her 3 younger siblings after school and into the evening while her mother's at work. There's usually not enough for them to eat. Rarely do they have clean clothes. And then they also live with her mother's moody boyfriend, and they never know what to expect from him emotionally, mentally, and even physically at times. She could not help but wonder what it would be like to accomplish if she was like an octopus with 8 arms and she was able to juggle and manage everything. But all she's really trying to do is just survive, stay under the radar, and finish out middle school with her best friend Fuchsia. But she's not entirely as invisible as she thinks, because when one of her teachers forces her to join the debate club, everything changes for Zoe. No longer is she invisible to the student population, she also starts to see things differently in her own life, leading her to make changes she never could have imagined or have the strength to make those changes that she never thought she could. If you enjoy a realistic story with a strong female character, then this is the one you are looking for. This is the benefits of being an octopus. So these are just 6 of the books we have here at the library with blue covers. And again, they're all over the place, which is a great thing to have. There's choices for everyone. There's literally different books for every different type of reader. So I encourage you to come on out, check out one of these 6, or maybe find another book with a blue cover, or maybe just find something that you really, really are passionate about wanting to read. So I hope you tune back next week when we have a whole new middle grade book spotlight, and I hope you have an amazing week.